that's why I picked all of these comics, and then they asked me, they're like, what do you think about asking, a regular host, WCPT, who's been on Queer as Folk and is like, has been in the Liberal Sexy Tour and does all these things. And I was like, I don't know who's gonna come. And when I asked him to come and do the show, he didn't hesitate. He said yes. We love him so much. He's gotten us through the pandemic. He's helped us understand so much what's going on. Please welcome Hal Sparks, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I do an odd form of ventriloquism, obviously. Give it up for everybody that's performed tonight and doing this by and large for free, for Indivisible, and helping us all to get out there and march. And I appreciate all the people who are there, who march regularly. I'm guessing this crowd is full of people who show up at the march, who are there early, who make their own goddamn signs and sweat over something pithy but appropriate gravitas for the moment. How much of a joke does this can I make about this particular topic? It feels very heavy, and yet I understand that Trump only responds to mockery because he has no empathy, and therefore he cannot feel shame at all, but he can feel embarrassment. Okay, let me start out. As a narcissist, I would like to point out, I take great umbrage with the idea that people often will regard Trump as a narcissist. I hear this all the time. And as a professional and private narcissist, I take great offense at this because there is no way you can convince me that Donald Trump, at any point in his entire life, even at the apex of whatever you consider his looks to be, walked by a bank window, saw his reflection, and went, all right. Never happened. Not once. I have had that experience. I have had at least 6 of those, 12 times in my life I've walked by him. Oh, who's this guy? Hey. He looks like a roadie for Foghat. He's dressed like he's doing backup for Prince, and that's not bad. But I'm okay with it, And now you'll notice I didn't say damn, who's fine? I'm just saying, okay, all right, I got it dialed in. There is no way you can convince me that Donald Trump at any point, even with any moment of accidental self-awareness, walked by a shiny surface of any sort and did look at it and go, fuck. That's why he hates everybody. That's why he hates women, right? Because there's only 2 categories. Women who can see through his bullshit and won't sleep with him no matter how much money he has. They're monsters. And then whores, because he's the only woman who will sleep with him, but they could be possibly sleeping with him because he's attractive. It's a thing. So as a narcissist, I'm running interference. I think he has low self-esteem, and I think that's the one nerve we have to work. So mock him at every corner. So make sure whatever sign you are making upsets him. That's the only goal. Also, it's lovely to be back in Chicago. I went to high school here, and I came here. Most people don't know this. I came here, and Johnny Million is here, and he will attest to this, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Million. I came to Chicago as an immigrant myself. That's right. I came from a place that culturally was very different, where English was not the first language. I'm talking about Kentucky. There are people who came from Europe and the Middle East and South America who came here and spoke better English than I did when they arrived in Chicago. So I thank you for your charity and your understanding, and till I eventually shaved and learned how to speak properly. But I will say, the one issue I've always had with Chicago is that you're all comfortable living a lie, and you need to be called out on it. And that's what I'm here to do. We gotta rip the Band-Aid off tonight. This whole lake effect wind chill nonsense is bullshit. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. First of all, when the weatherman says it's 9 degrees outside, but it feels like 2. Okay, first of all, no one knows the feeling difference in single digits ever. At that point, anything under 12 degrees, it doesn't have a number attached to it all. It feels like son of a bitch. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Son of a bitch. Turn the vents down so this thing doesn't start on me. You bastard. You bastard. Fan all the way up. Heat. And I will hold against the cold forever. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like 2. It feels like abuse. It's like the heat index in Phoenix, like Arizona or places like that, even in Las Vegas. They're like, it's 110 out, but it feels like 122 with the heat index, which, again, there's no differentiation at that point. Once you get past 102, everything is. That's how people communicate. It's like everybody's like mating birds, like. Yesterday, and pardon me for not, crafting a set for you guys and doing my due diligence, but last night they dumped 3 million pages of blackness on us all. I don't know if you know this, but the Epstein files came out, and everybody's like, he's being there's a big fight in MAGA. I don't know if you know this. On our side, we're like, obviously, Russia's pulling his strings. Obviously, the donors are pulling his strings. On the right, they're like, obviously, the Mossad is pulling his strings. Obviously, Israel is whatever they're going to. I think he's actually, if you look at the Epstein files, he's been captured by Big Toner. Because no one is getting richer during the Epstein files than the toner people. You would actually save more ink if they printed the white parts. Like if you got black paper and just printed white ink on it. It's it's stunning. Like you flip through some of that stuff, like it almost makes a cartoon about a character named Blocky who just falls to his death. Just. We always get. You've got Trump derangement syndrome. That's what they always say about us. And I would argue yes that they have Trump. You have to be fucking deranged to vote for somebody like that. Not just for the political reasons and the weird shit he said about having sex with his daughter and his 25-year friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Every time I run into a maggot out in the wild, and I have seen quite a few of them, it's amazing. You don't want to spook them, and it's sort of like it's somewhere between like a mountain gorilla and a elk. They're like beautiful and dangerous, and yet they feel uncomfortable in their own space. You venture into the wild and they're standing right there going on a street corner, just looking for someone that, like a woman with a too hard jawline. Side note, because this is how my brain works. I took a friend of mine who'd never been out of the country to Thailand for the first time. He'd never been to anywhere. I regret that. Obviously, we should have taken the normal Canada, Tijuana, and then the rest of the world, Get your toe wet first. Don't dive right in with the food market in Thailand where they're selling squid eggs and I'm eating them off a stick like a fucking dude in a CNN food documentary. I'm like, I don't know. As long as they don't hatch in your mouth, they're delicious, right? And I literally looked at him while we were walking around, and he, just from the food, he was having a heart attack. He was like, I don't speak the language. I'm gonna die from the heat. I don't know what to eat, and I'm good. And then I made the mistake of telling him about the trans individuals known as ladyboys that were around him, just as a kind of, not as a warning, that's too heavy a word, just to have some awareness. Because I don't drink. I've never had an alcoholic drink in my life. We'll get to that later. But he did. And I was like, somebody at some point is going to fix you one, and you're going to end up as an illustration on a very funny t-shirt about tourists. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look them up online. You will see an image that will make you stick with you forever. It involves a serviceman and a lady person. Anyway, so they're called katoys, in case you don't know, which is a funny word that makes them sound like, you know, Kenner sold them in the 80s with an action set. And new katoys, right? Anyway, so after I told them, I was like, look, they're very convincing, and they look for all the world like a woman, just so you know. Nothing wrong with it. If it decides to work for you, at least you're going in with your eyes open. The problem was after that, everyone was a katoy. Like every woman who stood up a little too tall or whatever, like it didn't need to have any, he was just like, how's a katoy? That's a katoy, that's a katoy. That's a katoy. Because I didn't realize at that time he was running through a whole fantasy in his head of, she's pretty, I think she's looking at me. What if we went to, she bought me a drink and then we were just hanging out or whatever, and then we get back to her place and we're making out or whatever, and she's a man, And then he would see another one, and that whole thing would play out like a 2-hour rom-com that ends with a punchline with every woman he saw, right? And I realized that's what MAGA guys are doing all the time. Like ever since they saw one attractive female athlete that wasn't even trans, just like a female athlete, you're like, oh, she's kind of butch and hot. What does that make me? You know, they like having this kind of J.D. Vance couch panic, like every time he walks into an IKEA and starts getting a boner, and he's like, what is happening? You know, you just have this. So oftentimes you'll see maggots standing on a street corner just having this kind of like, and it's because they're playing out. They have a whole story that doesn't involve you. And you ever been in a car accident and time moves so slowly? A world of things happen in seconds. Stuff that everybody else, you just went pow like that. But to you it was like, I shouldn't have been texting. Wow, the carpet store's still open at this hour? I can't believe these tires still have grip. Where did that car come? You know, like just all that happens, right? Maggots are living, you know, it's hard to reach people if you don't know where they are. And I'm convinced that maggots live in this hyper imaginary world of their concocting, that every possible interaction leads to the worst possible outcome, right? And it would explain every response they have, right? Because their fantasy, because I've always said, you know, like people like tells you, they always go, people are trying to meditate, and they're like, I can't meditate. So I'm just trying, I've tried meditating. How long did you try? About 45 seconds. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to meditate. Like, no, everybody can meditate. You just meditate on shitty stuff and call it worry. That's what worry is. Worry is evil meditation. You can do it, you just have to shift your focus, right? But maggots all the time are focused on this stuff. Like they're just hyper focused on the worst possible outcome because they don't know how anything works. That's the other thing. Like, and when it comes to the politicians, you know, the theme, I would say the motto of the modern Republican Party, and it may have been like this forever before I was born, but at least in my lifetime, the motto of the GOP has been, government can't do anything right, elect me and I'll prove it. Right? That's like the whole thing is about like intentionally fucking it up, right? And on our, you know, and our side, and this is where I do think we can take a play out of Trump's book, is we need to do a little more chest beating. Because if Democrats had beat their chest about Social Security, SNAP, after-school programs, school lunch, STEM for girls, all that kind of stuff, as loudly as this asshole talks about gold laminating the interior of the White House or putting marble armrests on chairs you have to be in for more than 10 minutes, which is the single... why don't you just make a lower backrest out of pine cones while you're at it? Like, that's... At the Kennedy Center, he's putting marble armrests on, and he's spending time doing that. Now, look, I'm glad he's doing it, because it's easily removed, and it keeps him from doing other shit. Right? I say throw him more of that stuff. Like, yeah, man, I don't understand why there's any white parts left in the Oval Office. The whole thing should be gold. You should give him those little leaves they give you when you visit a Thai Buddha and just go, you can just don't rub it with your thumb. And just make this a project, Gramps. Just walk around. And in between gold laminating the interior of the Oval Office, every so often we'll hand you a page of Project 2025 to sign in a little book cover, and you can hold it up like a boom boom in your diaper and show it to everybody like, I made a poo-poo. Good for me. I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy. Yes, you are a big boy. Gonna put a boo-boo. Anybody want a pen? I did a boo-boo. Keep him busy. You know that's what they're doing, right? Like 3 to 5 hours a day is like his mental capacity. His brain turns to like, I don't know, tapioca. Like more like these days. It's more like a garage or like a gas station sushi that's been left on a dashboard on a hot day with the sunroof just barely cracked. Because he stinks, right? Like that, you know those little Zevo things that you have to put up to kill like mites to get on your fruit and stuff. Like, the White House is just like full of those. Part of they don't shoot anything below the ankles, for him to hide his ankles, his puppy ankles, but it's also to hide all those things in all the outlets that catch all the bugs that are like. Give him stuff to do. It's like, that busy stuff you give an elderly parent when they no longer remember who the relatives are, who the children are, or how to feed their pets or whatever, but they'll water the shit out of an empty pot or like just put a plastic plant in it and just tell them, make sure that's watered. Oh, here, I got it. I got it. Just give them an empty thing. I'm gonna fill this up. And then they go to the tub and turn it on and flood the apartment. That's kind of what, I gotta be honest, that's kind of what they're doing. Let's be honest. I have a guy on my show, and some of you may have heard him, Adam Allen. He's a geriatric doctor, and he works with elderly people who are suffering from dementia or advanced degenerative brain disease, and he gives Trump 5 months to live. Now, no, don't get too excited. No. We don't wish ill or death on anyone. We just might, no. No. We don't wish it on them. We just wouldn't mind. There's a difference. There's a difference. You just don't, you're not morally responsible for things you don't mind, right? Wishing it on someone, that says something bad about you, right? That you can direct that stuff and you can quell that shit, okay? You can tamp that down. You can go, that's a gaping hole in my soul that I have to work on. But you don't have to make me care if, let's just say, I don't know, a pat of butter. You know those little pats of butter? They're in those little plastic, like paper wrap, and they're very shiny. They're delicious, yeah. One of those from the food service on Air Force One somehow falls off a tray, and it gets bounced across the floor. People don't even look. They're just walking around. There's lots of stuff to do. It's it's basically a flying Oval Office. Somebody's kicking it, and it bounces off a door. Then another person kicks it, doesn't notice it, and it hits her. And then it ends up, when they land, it's right near the front door or whatever. And it gets people opening the door. There's all these people that work around. One gets kicked, and it kind of lands on the third step. I'm not saying you hope it happens. It's just that you wouldn't mind. My My big thing, though, is that I know it's coming too. Let's be honest. I think it's coming, and that's the thing. Everything they said about Biden is true about Trump, and this is really what's going to go on. My thing is, it's got to happen in public, because if it doesn't, you know, the conspiracy theories are going to run wild. They're going to blame us. You know, not the fact that he spent his whole life snorting Adderall and Pervitin or whatever the hell, and eating a bunch of like stacks of fish, which is literally what he calls the McDonald's fish sandwich now. He can't even think of the name of the fish. I gotta tell you, fish sounds like something you'd learn in biology class about how you make little fish. Fish. I love the fish. At that point, I don't even know why there wasn't just a hook, you know, just. But you know he's gonna keel over, and I just want it to be in public, not because I necessarily want to see it happen, but I just want us to be like, I want AOC and everybody else to be vacationing in the Bahamas. I want Hunter Biden to be visiting relatives in California. I want everybody to be, and the only people I want around are like Matt Gaetz and Stephen Miller and Susie Wiles. Yeah, and all the people and Erica Kirk. And wait, who else could we have there to make sure that, yes, right, Ben Shapiro, he should be there. Musk, Elon Musk would be great, along with Bill Gates and Zuckerberg, because they hate both of them and they can't, Melania won't be around, obviously. She wasn't around when Ivana fell either, so obviously. All right, you guys have been wonderful. I'm gonna end on this because we deserve to talk about something silly. I've never had an alcoholic drink in my life. This is a true story. I've never drank, and I've never done drugs, and I've never smoked anything. And I don't know. I think, you know, I was like, people get sober, like, they're like, I've been sober for, 10 days, 50 days, 2 years, whatever it is. Like, they deserve a round of applause for that, and they deserve the credit for, beating that. That's a terrific thing. I didn't beat anything. I just knew I wouldn't do it well, so I avoided it entirely. Not that I have an addictive personality, but look what I do for a living. But the point is, I've never done that in my life, and I will say though that drunks, my entire career at New Trier was being the designated driver. Thank you very much, other Trevians, which is not a thing. So I was the designated driver, which meant I squeegeed vomit off the side of my dad's Chevy Cavalier station wagon every weekend. Thanks for at least leaning out the side of the car, right? But I will say that drunk people are the funniest human pukers. Of all the reasons to throw up, drunk is the funniest. I appreciate that. Obviously, getting sick, if your friend has a stomach flu or something like that, and he's laying on the couch, and you got a little bucket next to the couch for him to throw up in it. You move that, put his shoes there. That's one laugh. That's good for one laugh. But drunks, it's like a practical trick, a joke you play on your friends all night long, because it's got stages. You guys, because first off, you guys are you got it down, whatever your tolerance is or whatever. But you can always tell when you have moved from phase 1 to phase 2, because you guys start getting wobble knee, this business, where you just can't lock your knee. It just won't lock. It just, that kind of, everybody gets like wobble knee even when they're not drinking sometimes. You ever been walking down the street and your leg just goes blurble like that? It's like your knee went, I thought we were going this way. You're like, no, asshole, we were going this way. Like all of us, every joint in the body is going down the sidewalk, and you're like, I thought we were crossing here. We're not crossing here. But drunks, they get that, they just won't, and that's when you're like, uh-oh, here it comes. And then phase 2 is when they start becoming the worst spy in the world. Don't tell anybody. I'm way drunk. Shh. I'm so drunk right now. Shh. Don't tell anybody. I'm drunk. So like, yeah, wait, no, whatever. Stage 3 is when it starts to get scary and serious. That's this period where you go, woo! I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm fine. Okay, I'm okay. Okay. Ow! And I wish you would just throw up. Just do it. We all know you're gonna do it. Just do it. We're all in a semicircle around you anyways, because the minute you did it the first time, we all did the electric slide. We're like, whoa. But you don't, do you? You keep doing that for hours. Ha! Woo! And then when it's on, like, it just, yeah. It's, as soon as you're like, oh, there's our Uber. God damn it. I will say that I have noticed that there is some variation between the sexes in terms of inebriation to the point of intoxication and regurgitation, wherein you will often find the male of the species. Let me use a little thing over here for this. You'll find the male of the species, and he is usually sat on a stool by his friends and propped up on a wall at the bar or the back of the party or wherever they are, because his friends don't want to go home yet. They don't give a shit about him, so instead of driving him home safely, they just leave him leaning up against the wall. And his job is now to barf on his good shirt. That is his whole, that's his career now, just... Woo! I'm a... Ow! Nickelback! Women, on the other hand, yeah, you will often find outside the venue, because they still have the mental awareness and, you know, the acuity to go outside. And you'll find them leaning up against a parked car or a parking meter or a friend with one hand, holding their shoes at arm's length, because they're still aware enough to go, these are too expensive to throw up on. And women seem to need to tell you the whole story about why they started drinking in the first place and how it's not their fault and how Kevin's a fucker. Fuck Kevin's asshole, Kevin. I wore a blue dress. I wore a blue dress because Kevin was gonna be here, and Kevin didn't show up, and I wore a blue dress for Kevin. And I was blue dress for Kevin. And Kevin didn't even show up. I didn't like a blue dress. I don't even like a blue dress. I bought a blue dress for Kevin. And now, Hi, Kevin. You did not. You are late. Oh my God, you are so late. I'm not even gonna try it. I'm gonna see you inside. Oh my God, do you have any gum? Do you have any gum? I need like dentine pieces of gum right now. Drunks are the funniest human pukers. Cats are the funniest animal pukers. That's right. I don't know. Like dogs, if dogs eat something bad, they just go, and that's it. That's the whole thing. There's no production. It's simply an elimination of the threat. Cats, that's why they ended up developing a musical from these animals. It's a show. I know a lot of people like, my cat, sometimes he talks. I have a talking cat. And it's like if you listen to him, he's like, meow, meow, meow. It's like he's saying mom. It's like he's saying, no, he isn't. He's about to vomit. Because they want you to watch because they're assholes. My girlfriend's cat, Charlie, makes a noise when he throws up that I'm going to recreate for you now. But I am not going to elaborate on it, and I am not going to exaggerate it in any way as a professional who loves you. I am simply going to, best as I can, being a non-feline, I'm going to recreate that sound as much as I can. And this is exactly the sound that Charlie the cat makes before he throws up every single time. This is the noise he makes, I swear to God. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know. I don't know why he does that. He sounds like an old comedian from the 30s, like, you kids get off my lawn. Like, I don't even know how he makes it. He doesn't have lips. How the fuck does he make that noise? What is that? He's this big. But that sound is so distinct. I can hear it anywhere in the house. I could be in the basement playing drums to a Slayer record while the Super Bowl is going on the second floor and everybody's watching, and he could be in the bedroom on the top of, and I could hear, and the whole world goes into slow motion. I'm like, get him off the bed. Knock him into the bathroom where he can barf on the linoleum, little bastard. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming out. Patty Vasquez, everybody. Yes, of course. Where am I going? It's freezing outside.
Baby, it's cold outside. Do you want to freeze your ass off?